Alright folks, welcome back to Extra Frame. This is Matt Canizaro and we are here live at South Plains Lanes for the 2015 PWBA Lubbock Sports Open. And we've had wire-to-wire coverage here on Extra Frame. And we've got our final 8 games of match play underway right now. It's been a grueling couple of days for these competitors. They had 12 games of qualifying yesterday. That was preceded by a 1-hour practice session and followed by a 3-game Pro-Am. So potentially 15 games of competition yesterday plus practice. And practice at the start of each block as well. And then they came back today. The top 16 players, based on yesterday's 12-game pinfall, back here today for 16 games of round-robin match play. 2 8-game blocks. First one took place earlier today, and now we're situated and sitting in here for the final 8 games. It's going to get exciting here, and we appreciate everybody joining us. Let's take a quick look at the standings. These are available at PWBA.com. Top of the standings, Jazreel Tan of Singapore, leading by more than 200 pins at plus 632, ahead of Stephanie Johnson, who's on our featured pair here, at plus 428. Missy Parkin, plus 402. Danielle McEwen, plus 318. And Diana Zavialova is 5th, 20 pins back. So still a lot of time and a lot of room for some players to sneak in. After this 8-game block, the top 4 will advance to the step ladder finals. We'll have that for you here live tonight at 7:30 Eastern. Right now we're watching Missy Parkin take on Stephanie Johnson and Josie Ernest and Danielle McEwen. So 4 longtime Team USA members, all collegiate standouts, all have made TV appearances in our top ladies events, the USBC Queens and or US Women's Open. So tons of experience and success here at every level of the game, going back many years, and 4 players who very much dreamed and looked forward to this opportunity to be on the professional tour just for women. So McEwen out to an early lead over Jersey Ernest with the double. And Stephanie Johnson with the split in the 4th frame. Opens the door a little bit for Missy Park. Parkin answers with a double of her own. $10,000 on the line today. Top prize, $5,000 for second. Not a bad return on an investment, just $300 if you're a PWBA member to enter Lubbock Sports Open. Minimum cash, $1,200. So with the spare, Parkin leads by 3. Queuing up by 11. Ring 10 for Johnson. So again, this is a game of 1 of 8 on this afternoon squad, or afternoon block. We rolled 8 games this morning. Game number 1 moving along quickly. Kewen leads Ernest by 6. And Parkins double. They're up 13. Again, after 20 games, Singapore's Jazriel Tan leading by more than 200 over Stephanie Johnson. Jazriel averaging 222.6 through 20 games, and Johnson at 212. Doesn't matter how you get there. The goal right now is to make the top 4 to have a chance at $10,000 and getting your name on a banner if it's not there already. Parking up 12. Q now up 20. Curious about any of the players on the PWBA tour. Many of them have bios at pwba.com. A lot of great information there as far as who's who, what the schedule is, what the results have been so far, and just a lot of great information about the resurrection of the PWBA tour. Giving players like Stephanie Johnson a chance to showcase talent and great shots like that. Our 10th frame for Johnson. She got the first one. Terrific shot there. So she's definitely put the pressure on Missy Parkin. Missy will have to double at least. As Johnson now in the 230s. 236 max score. Parkin can get to 238. Last 5 for Johnson. She currently 2nd overall. All right, so situation. Parkin needs a double 9. These players right now 2-3 in the standings, just 26 pins apart. Missy gets a high break. 4 in the 10. Cooperating late. McEwen and Josie Ernest, a low-scoring match. McEwen up 9, so these bonus pins very important. She is a distant 4th behind Parkin and Johnson, who both are picking up some sticks regardless here. Parkin needs this one. And she gets the break on the 9. High flush again. So Parkin gets the 1-pin victory, 237, 236, and the bonus pins. McEwen and Josie Ernest finishing up. McEwen can shut Josie out with a strike here. Awesome shot. And the best Josie can do is 191. McEwen strike puts her at 200. So just keep it on the lane, and she is a winner. And we'll be right back with game number 2. All right, folks, game 2 getting underway here at the 2015 PWBA Lubbock Sports Open. Game 2 of 8 and game 22 of 28. So a long road here to the championship match. We'll have updated standings for you in just a minute. This match, Alicia and Clara Guerrero doing battle on 19 and 20, and Kayla Bandy and Lindsay Boomershine on our other pair, 21 and 22. Sit back, enjoy the action. This is Matt Canizaro. We're live at South Plains Lanes here in Lubbock, Texas. So the third stop on the new PWBA tour. A lot of excitement. A lot of very happy bowling fans and bowlers. Taking home tons of prize money. 74 players in the field this week, 32 cashed for a minimum of $1,200. Top prize up for grabs right now, $10,000 in Singapore's Jazreel Tan leading the way and does not want to give up that top spot. So we'll have the conclusion here for you in just a minute. Enjoy game number 2. Allie Jams stepping up on 19. I've got standings through 21 games. Jazriel Tan at plus 648, 7-2 on the day in match play. Missy Parkin now second at plus 469. Stephanie Johnson not far behind at plus 464. Danielle McEwen at plus 348. Katie Sutphin now fifth at plus 312. Then a little bit of a drop off, but still nobody really out of the hunt here. Diana Zavialova plus 278. Kayla Bandy plus 258. Christina Wendell plus 257. So at least 10 or 12 players still in contention here. And with a big game, Allie Jams can get in there as well. Only 123 pins separating 11th and 4th place. With 7 games to go. Bandy perfect through 3. Jams left off her hand. High into the 4-7. Still leads by 7 here. Early. Her match against Claire Guerrero. Kayla Bandy 4 for 4. The string ends for Bandy at 4. Lose the 4 pin, but still in control here. I-Jams leading by 7. Left off her hand again. .74 players this week. All of the fields start at 64 players, but there's been such interest early on here in the PWBA season that the field at each event has been expanded. Some up to a max of 80. Next event next week in Wichita. If you're curious about the schedule and the details, visit pwba.com. You get the rundown there. If you're nearby, want to compete in the event or bowl in the Pro-Am, check it out. Great shot by Clara. She trails by 5 at the halfway point. Boomstein was making a run to get back in this match, and leaves the 410. She's down 33. So after the quick start, Allie having some trouble hitting the pocket there. And the open frame. Allie falls behind. Clara with the double out in front. Jazreal Tan from Singapore on top, plus 648. Huge lead over Missy Parkin and Stephanie Johnson, who are just 5 pins apart for second and third right now. The fourth spot belongs to Danielle McEwen. Katie Sutphin, 36 pins back. This is game 2 of 8 on this final block. And we'll be here with you until the very end. Then we'll get reset and situated. All right, so our matches here coming to a close. iJam's the quick start. And comes up a little bit short here. She can finish with 2:11. Clara, despite the opening in the 10th, 2:15, and the victory in our other match. Kayla Bandy, clean through 9. Lindsay Boomershine, 2:03 with a pair of opens. And Kayla Bandy in position here. Gonna pick up some pins. So iJam's gonna finish strong. Alright, so Kayla Bandy, big game here. Should be in the 240s. Pick up an extra 30 bonus pins. You don't realize how many bowling fans there are out there and how things are going until something doesn't work quite right, and then you know for sure. So appreciate everybody sticking with us today. It's been an interesting day to say the least behind the cameras here at the 2015 PWBA Lubbock Sports Open. Game 2 of this 8-game block now completed. Wait for our next 4 competitors. Again, that was Clara Guerrero defeating Ali iJams 2:15-2:09. Kayla Bandy 2:45 over Lindsay Boomershine 2:03. Christina Wendell not wasting any time stepping on the approach. I believe she's going to be taking on Lindsay Boomershine. And this is round robin match play, top 16. 15 games, everybody bowls everybody. then a position round right before we head into the step ladder. If you'd like to see those standings, just visit pwba.com, pwba.com/live. There's also live scoring, so if you'd like to check out how folks are doing who aren't on our featured pairs. Of course, there's 6 other matches going on throughout the bowling center. South Plains lanes, 40 lanes. Terrific staff here, very welcoming, and the hospitality has been terrific for the players and the guests. Shine with the open in the first.
What?
The light mixer, and 7 does not cooperate. Our other match, Claire Guerrero and Katie Sutphin. We'll have the updated standings in just a minute. Two games already in the books. Great shot by Wendell. She was the top seed last week. Led the entire event. And then fell in the championship match to Alicia Current. Wendell looking to get back and get another chance at it. No doubt that experience could come in very helpful. Four 6 stands for Wendell. She led by 11. Updated standings now available at PWBA.com. Stephanie Johnson and Missy Parkin trying to close in on Jazriel Tan, but she's holding them off. She's at plus 634. Stephanie Johnson second at plus 499. So 135 pins now separate first and second place. Jazriel's been leading since the first round of qualifying yesterday. Missy Parkin is 40 pins back at plus 459. Danielle McEwen now fourth at plus 405. Christina Wendell 52 pins back. Katie Sutphin 56 pins back. And Kayla Bandy in 72 pins out of the stepladder at this point. So we started to see some separation earlier, where about 9 players really seemed in contention. But with each game, it looks like that number shrinking a little bit. Boomershine, no strikes here. Game number 3. Down 1 pin to Wendell. This 40-foot lane condition proving to be a challenge. There were some thoughts that scores might be a little bit higher than we saw last week in Sacramento, but this week proving to be a grind here in Lubbock. Lubbock Sports Open. Great shot by Guerrero. First strike in that match. Between these 4 bowlers, just 2 strikes. Clara with a little bit of a mess to clean up here. 6-7. She'll take the 1. Give Sutphin a chance to play catch up a little bit. So Sutphin able to close the gap a little bit here. Down 3 with a strike. Boomerstein, big double. He's already up 1. And increasing that lead now with strikes in the 5th and 6th. Another great shot by Wendell. Brings it 10. Same thing last time on that lane. Great shot by Claire. Stubborn 7-pin. So 4 consecutive spares now for Christina Wendell. And she has fallen behind here. Sutphin with a chance to take the lead over Clara with a strike here in the 6th. Got that one right. Doesn't make it back, leaves the 2-8. Boomerstein with her 3rd consecutive strike in command here. Looking at the standings, Boomerstein down in 15th place at plus 155. She's 250 back from the stepladder right now. Wendell, though, just 52 pins out, so need every stick. As the top couple starting to pull away here. Jezreel Tan plus 634. Stephanie Johnson plus 499. Boomershine leading by 21. Max score for Lindsay, 213. Max score for Wendell, also 213, so some potential excitement here on lanes 19 and 20. .710 cooperates. Makes up for there's 2 ring 10s. And we've got ourselves a match here. Wendell certainly can put the pressure on Boomershine here with a strike in the 9th. And the mixer for the double. We're now even. Boomershine will finish first. She can put all the pressure on Wendell, who needs these 30 bonus pins. Ring 10 for Lindsay. Boomershine, she strikes here. Strikes bare. Forces Wendell to throw at least the first one in the 10th. So Sutphin coming into this game 6th, 56 pins out, struggling. Boomshine gets the 2 off the wall, finishes with 191. Nine spare strike minimum for Wendell. Anything less, Boomerstein will win. Possibility of a tie as well. That was left off her hand. Goes Brooklyn for the strike. And she's going to win this match. Max score 213. Clara with the open in the 9th. She can shut out Sutphin. Double 8. She's a guaranteed winner here. Clara down in 8th place, 122 back. And Wendell adds 1 more strike. So Wendell definitely will stay ahead of Katie Sutphin. Claire gets the first one. Again, double 8. She locks out Sutphin. Wendell has won her match over Boomerstein. Got the Brooklyn strike, first shot in the 10th. 212, 191. So she'll pick up 42 pins there. Clara throws it well. 7 pin will not go. So Sutphin still has a chance here. Clara picks this up. She's at 174. So Katie must double. Crucial time for her. She just lost ground. Christina Wendell, who's just ahead of her in the standings. Here Sutphin needs a double. And it goes high, so she will lose sticks here. Fall farther behind. Kayla Bandy was not too far back. She's way down on the low side, so hard to tell. We'll have the updated standings for you as soon as they become available. All the matches finishing up now. Final shot for Sutphin here. Now she gets the strike, but a little bit too late. She falls 174, 169. So Clara Guerrero will have game number 5 coming up in just a minute.
I think this is my ball. It is. Oh. Do they have any bags on it? All right, folks, we are getting settled in here for
getting close to the halfway point. Game 4 of 8 coming right up. It's been a very long weekend for these players, and of course there's still quite a bit of money on the line, but you gotta be pretty tired at this point, and for some, math possibly not on their side as we wind down. Just a few games left. We're joined now by last week's champion, superstar, Alicia Curran. How are you today?
Very good, Matt. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing all right. We're having a pretty exciting weekend here at South Plains Lanes, and we got to share a special moment with you yesterday, and possibly a dream coming true that I don't know that you even knew was going to happen. But prior to practice for the afternoon squad yesterday, they presented you with your championship banner.
Yes, they did.
And your name now hangs over lane 20 here at the bowling center, and it forever will at every event moving forward. How's that feel?
Now that you say it, it sounds pretty exciting. To be able to go to all the tournaments and see my banner hanging there with a lot of great bowlers who are still bowling and the up and coming, and whoever gets this one this weekend will be able to share the same experience, as there's some young talent here who I don't think anyone has won a banner who is bowling right now.
Well, got a couple of standouts here who have donned the tiara. Missy Parkin, of course, Diana Zaviolova. They've been there, and for the girls from Singapore, their success that they enjoy bowling for their country and traveling the world. But this is a dream, and we've talked to Erin McCarthy today and Brianna Caldwell. And depending on where you guys fit into the timeline of women's bowling, something that you didn't think that you ever would have a chance to do on this scale. The timing of when you went to college and kind of where your goals were leading you at that point, the PWBA tour wasn't an option for you.
No, it wasn't at all. It folded right when I graduated high school, and it was awful knowing that I would possibly never have the chance to even go out on tour and compete and have nothing to do with the sport that I love.
So you were at a point then in high school where you're old enough to have seen some of the great events on TV, and seeing Liz Johnson and Kelly Kulick just kind of becoming the rising stars out there, and of course I'm sure looking up to bowlers like Anne-Marie Dugan, Carolyn Doran-Ballard we've seen this week, Leanne Barrett-Holstenberg, Kim Terrell, and they've still got it, and they certainly weren't ready to hang it up by any means, and they all were forced to choose other careers, and I guess in one way your generation a little bit fortunate to where you kind of knew, so you were able to plan a little bit better as far as what you were going to do after high school, and have a different sort of backup plan at that point. Certainly not any less disappointing. And then you, of course, took advantage of the growing NCAA opportunities briefly there.
Yes.
And then experienced the other side of things at Wichita State as well. So a pretty good spectrum for you. And no doubt, as we've seen with the talent here, most of what we see, most of yesterday's 74 players came through the collegiate ranks in some capacity, and able to still be competitive. And you guys have seen these challenging lane conditions regularly, going through junior gold program and then high school and college, and so definitely prepared for this type of environment. But to talk about that transition from the dream of professional bowling to the reality that you'd have to get a real job at some point there, and then now to have that opportunity again.
It was rough after graduating high school, and then going through college, and then graduating from college, not really knowing what exactly I wanted to do. I worked for a family friend for 3 years, and then that's when the opportunity was given to me to coach at Delaware State University in Dover, Delaware. And obviously that was another one of my dreams, to be able to coach collegiately, and so I took it because why not? There was no tour, there was nothing going on. I was bowling on the weekends, bowling leagues here and there, and so I decided, sure, let's do that. And now I'm in my fourth year, going into my fourth year this year, and I have a team that's been growing and getting back to how it used to be, where where Kim Kearney used to coach, and I'm very excited about that, and seeing these girls who I'm coaching day in and day out, watching them grow and become more knowledgeable about the game, and now their dreams are out there ready to pursue. And the girls I got graduating year after year, they're working hard. They ask me what they need to do, and I give them the feedback of what it is that they need to be looking forward to and looking out for themselves now after they graduate. So it was a little bumpy, deciding what it is I wanted to do, but the school supports me and my dreams, obviously, and it only helps the school as well, putting myself out here. So I'm very fortunate to have a job that is focused around bowling and being around it all the time, and having one season for them and a season for myself.
Well, the timing couldn't be any better
Yeah.
for you. Obviously, the school year ended, and now summertime gives you a chance to travel a little bit. I don't know how much there is to do in the NCAA bowling world during the summer months, other than maybe scouting talent at Junior Gold or at the USBC Combine at the ITRC, or potentially here even, depending on, well, I guess not for you with the NCAA rules. But you have the chance now to travel a little bit from site to site, maybe see some players along the way.
Yeah, it's definitely been interesting. I know in Sacramento there was some junior bowlers there. Obviously, I try to remember their names or write them down, try to get in contact with them, but not so many here. But we go to Wichita next weekend, where that's where I graduated from, so I know that's a huge bowling community. So who knows what we could find out there. Maybe somebody is just interested in bowling, or maybe they I don't know. Just it's fun to see the young bowlers come up through, especially when they're real tiny, and you can just see it in their eyes and all of that. But yeah, I just came back from Junior Gold on Wednesday, so that was an experience itself up there for their record-breaking year this year. So found a little bit of talent, gonna go and pursue them for the next coming season and go from there.
Well, sounds like a lot of miles covered, but so far very profitable miles for you, and hopefully for your team as well. Another Wichita Stater, Jazriel Tan, leading the way here, almost
Jazzy.
wire to wire. She's hanging on there. She's 8-3 today in match play, plus 664, and the rest of the folks are running out of time to catch her.
Yes, they
Missy
are.
Park and Stephanie Johnson, they've been flip-flopping all day. Missy in second right now at plus 488. Stephanie only 6 pins back at 482. Danielle McEwen 457, and we're starting to see again separation. A couple games ago it was maybe 8 players who had a legitimate chance at getting in, and that gap's starting to close a little bit. Christina Wendell is 5th, 62 pins out of the show right now. Kayla Bandy making some moves in 6th place, 120 back. So running out of room. They got 5 games left, and still plenty of time. And you experienced this a little bit last week in getting to the step ladder, and a very grueling format. It's very quick. Players came in Thursday night. Some of them had a practice session, came back Friday. Hour practice, 6 games, short break, 6 more games. And I don't know how much bowling you guys actually get to do. I mean, some, of course, practice and have practiced very hard for this upcoming tour in getting ready and finding challenging conditions. But in general, those kind of days, you just don't see those very often.
No, you don't. And there really is no real way to prepare for that. But, I mean, being obviously practicing day in and day out, and hitting the gym, making sure you're working out, getting your legs used to being tired and having to keep going and motivate yourself, and just strengthening your whole body and just being ready to go. So, I mean, that's been my preparation. I know this past week that's played a little bit of a role as to possibly maybe why I didn't bowl as well, even though I really couldn't hit my mark yesterday. So that was my doing. But yeah, it's very important to really take care of yourself here, and just always be on top of your game, because as you can see, before this round started, it was very close. Anything could have happened, and And now, like you said, it's starting to spread apart here, and they are definitely running out of frames.
Well, now with your experience, of course, you had the long days of college bowling, and you might bowl just 5 games or 6 games in a day, but it takes 10 or 12 hours, so you're used to standing,
yes.
and you're in the bowling circle, and everybody's screaming and yelling the entire time, and so at collegiate events for sure, when we live stream those, we talk about the nutritional aspects of it, and staying hydrated and all the little things that you don't really think about. You're not running up and down the bases, and you're not sweating out a ton of sweat, but it wears on you for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're picking up a 15-pound ball every frame, and you're swinging that ball. You're using all your body, you're using all your muscles, you're using your brain, and that's where you get exhausted from, when you start to have to use that a little bit more than what you thought, and you can't really relax. So I mean, it's very important to stay on top of your game. I do know, Heather DeRico, a little shout out here to her for her bowl fit. I've seen a lot of success with a lot of the girls who are starting to join with her and get in better shape and eat better. And I mean, you can see the difference in a lot of those girls bowling.
Well, these players right now, this is game 24, and that's just qualifying and match play, not counting practice sessions, pro-am, practice before each block. Our matches right now, Josie Ernest and Sherry Tan, and Missy Parkin and Diana Zavialova.
Say that again.
So, of course, familiar names, both, again, collegiately, internationally, and 2 Queens champions in the group. So a lot of experience, and Josie as a coach, and Missy as a personal coach at home.
Yep.
They understand all those details and how important those things are, and how all those things work together. Bowling's not easy.
No, it is not.
Especially when you're out there abusing your body almost for 2 long days. I mean, it's going to be 30-plus games by the time they're done, and we've seen fingers ripped open and things you're not used to. In the way it was, kind of, you had the 2 big events of the year, the USBC Queens and the US Women's Open. And then after that, time to regroup and get your head right and maybe recover. But now, essentially, you were done bowling Saturday night and had probably Saturday night and Sunday to celebrate a little bit, and then get on to either to home and then Chicago. So where do you fit in the time with this schedule to get to the gym or to get on the lanes and practice and work some things out that maybe didn't go so well?
When you got those bowling days, you got to kind of sacrifice some other things. If people want to be going out or doing anything, you got to kind of learn to say no. But getting up early in the morning, going for that quick run, whether it be a half mile or just a mile, depending on how fast you run, I mean, that's a difference. That totally makes a difference for your day, and getting up and getting going, eating a good breakfast, and just staying hydrated, and the good snacks throughout the day. I mean, you can't go wrong there. Then you're at least doing something right if bowling's not going right.
Well, all these players, if you're able to follow them on Facebook and they have fan pages or wherever, you can see what they're up to, what they're throwing, what they're doing most of the time. And I say Diana and Missy especially, bowling is what they do. They are out there competing every chance they get, pretty much every weekend. They do spend a lot of time, and they post some of their secrets to success as far as what they're eating, where they're working out. They have different programs. You mentioned Heather and BowlFit, just trying to make a difference for the sport and kind of change the image a little bit. Now with the Pro Tour, the ladies have a chance to have that influence and be the face a little bit more so, more than just a couple of weeks a year. And we can see by the turnout at the first couple of events that certainly is true. And the pro-ams and just the folks coming out just wanting to meet the players that they've seen. They've watched you guys on the collegiate events on TV and some of the major shows, and now it's a chance to see you in person every week.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little different for us to be able to see every week in, week out, not having to be kind of computer screen trying to see what's going on, overseas or anything like that. But I know in Sacramento it was fun. There was a lot of people there, wall to wall, and that was amazing to see and be able to create the new fans and audience that it might have drawn in, that maybe some people weren't really too much of a women's bowling fan, but now they're hooked.
Well, here on Extra Frame now, we don't have any way to measure like we do on Bowl TV, who's watching, or no chat room to see what people are saying. But I can tell you that the few minutes that something didn't go right earlier, we heard about it, and we heard about it through various places, Facebook, Twitter, people calling the bowling center even. There's a ton of people out there that are, if they weren't bowling fans already or women's bowling fans, they certainly are now, and they just want to get their fix, and it's pretty amazing. So we appreciate all the support out there. Again, this is Matt Cannizzaro and Alicia Current here, watching the final block of match play. A couple good matches here. Missy Parkin trying to hold her spot. She is in second place right now, looking to make her second consecutive stepladder final here on the PWBA Tour. Stephanie Johnson down at the other side of the bowling center, just trying to hang on as well, and a couple of players still in the hunt. So pretty exciting. Diana Zavialova is down in 9th place, 176 pins behind the 4th spot. So she definitely has some work to do, and Missy is certainly taking advantage here, bowling a big game. And I don't know that she'll catch Jazriel Tan, but certainly doing her part to stay in the stepladder. That's all you can do, is give yourself a chance to win. And you guys actually got to bowl each other last week, and I would think you came along about the same time, and her college choice was Cal State Fullerton, bowling on the men's team, and NCAA kind of exploded after that.
Yeah, I went NCAA for my first 2 years and decided that I wanted to be a little different and try to better my game more, I guess, and decided to go to Wichita State, which was one of my first choices in the first place, and thought it was a little too far away from home, but sucked it up, and it was probably the best choice I ever could have made.
All right, so coming along behind some of these players like Missy, Deandra, a couple of years behind Kelly, you got to see them make that transition or kind of get to the top of the college game and then find their way out. What was it like being in that stepladder environment last week, and knowing that you got that? I know you bowled in the Queens as well. You guys have history.
Yeah, we do.
Going back to 2011.
That makes it more exciting.
So I don't want to say rivalry at this point, but I think we don't really see a lot of those out here. Everybody's just so friendly and supportive of each other. It's not a Rash and Belmo made for TV type rivalry. But you guys bowled for the Queens title in 2011, and Missy came out on top that time. But then a little different environment last week, and you were able to work your way up the stepladder and come away with the title. But just talk about that experience of being in that moment again.
It's weird you say being in that moment again, because that's what Jim and I worked on a lot for me personally, mentally, getting back in it, not checking out so much. And I can honestly say after 4 games, I was checked back in, and it was just time to go, time to do some work, and I didn't look behind. I saw how close I ended up behind Christina. I think if I would have won a couple more matches, I probably could have caught her. But being in that stepladder finals was, that's the dream come true right there, and just the match that I had to have with Missy made it even better and made me want it even more, because I knew she was on the hunt for it, and she's a good player. She gets to the pocket, and that's what we had to do last week, and she did it. And I guess I just had a bit more better ball reaction, as Lucas was saying, and Linda. But I was focused. That was probably the most focused I've ever been, even more than Queens, when Jim was trying to tell me to think back as to where I bowled great and wanted to see it happen again. And that's what I was able to do, and just took advantage of the look I had and the breaks that I got.
Well, the Queens, a much different format, of course. 15 games of qualifying, then you get to match play where all pins drop. It's 3-game matches, total pins wins, and you had a shorter run to the championship match than some in that double elimination format. But then you came out here, everybody's on even ground bowling, 12 games of qualifying, 16 games of match play. And I didn't get a chance to watch too much of last week's event, being that we were wrapping things up in El Paso at the Open Championships. But the standings this week certainly been a seesaw, a lot of leapfrogging, and a lot of possibilities. And again, some separation now as we get down towards the end of it. But talk about the last couple games and all the possibilities, the scenarios that could have been going through your head at that point. Knowing that this was the first real true event of the tour being back after the Queens, and there's 80 plus players out there looking to make that dream come true.
Wow, I don't know. I don't know if it was. I don't think that it was any nerves or anything like that. I just knew that I was making a good run. I was having a good score, and just like I said, I took advantage of everything that I got. And it didn't. In all honesty, it didn't feel like any different of any other tournament, I should say, because the women who are competing, who are making the top 16, those are the ones who are at every tournament, who we're competing against all year round, whether it be a local tournament or for some of them overseas, or traveling across the states. And so it didn't feel too different. So that helps a little bit, but it was just I really have no words yet. It still honestly has not even hit. Like, I'm looking at my banner right now and I'm like, all right, but now I'm like, okay, now I know what I got to do. I got to try to repeat that performance and get back on my game. But I don't know.
Well, I would imagine that coming back out this week, maybe a little bit of the pressure off, just being comfortable with the scenario perhaps, and knowing that you did it once, certainly you can get there again. But for a lot, there's that desire to win. And the first one they say is the hardest, and then after that, you've experienced it, and they seem to come in groups at that point. I'm sure you'd love that, as well as $10,000 or $12,000 every couple of weeks.
That that small pocket change helps. But yeah, hopefully it does make it a little easier. Going back to Wichita next weekend. I called that home for 2 years, so it's pretty exciting to go back there and being able to compete at the lanes where I practiced and hold leagued at, and it would just be like almost going home and bowling a tournament there. So I'm excited for next weekend and ready to get back on the lanes already and go practice some a couple days before and fix whatever I think I need to be fixed and get going again.
Well, Missy Parkin going again here, picking up a victory over Diana. Diana going to fall a few more pins back and certainly have her work cut out for her with 4 games to go. Missy again in second place, trying to catch Jazzy Tan. Not sure that is going to happen, but we've seen crazier things happen, and as long as it's possible on paper, we don't want to count anybody out. Josie Ernest, even with the open there in the 9th, in pretty good control here. Sherry Tan can strike out in the 9th and 10th for 198, and that will force Josie to mark. But strikes again a little bit harder to come by here. Surprisingly, they expected the scores to be a little bit higher on this 40-foot pattern, and it's definitely proven to be a grind.
It is playing tough, let me tell you. I actually threw a couple shots on their house shot for a little bit of the media that they had here on Thursday afternoon, and their house shot it's tough. I couldn't get a ball to wrinkle, and and I saw the same thing here bowling the 12 games of qualifying yesterday, and it was just a tough day for me yesterday. Personally, like I said, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and when I say that, I mean that. So, kudos to these 16 girls who got through and just made great shots, and most importantly made their spares, because spares are going to win this tournament for sure. The count, you're giving away too many opens, and that's what's going to get you down.
Well, the left-hander Sherry Tan trying to make it a match here, and delivers 2 quick strikes there, and putting the pressure on Josie. One more, And Josie's going to have to mark in the 10th here. Looking at the standings from yesterday, you were able to sneak in there and grab a check in the 30th position.
Yes.
We talked earlier with Aaron McCarthy about the prize funds being guaranteed for essentially 3 years here. 32 players will cash for a minimum of $1,200, whether there's 32 entries or 82 entries, which has to be kind of a good feeling knowing that potentially almost half the field is going to take home some money, and that there's that much support for women's bowling. But you're able to sneak in, and your travel partner, Lindsay Boomerstein, had a couple big games at the end to get into the top 16.
Yes, she did. It was funny because we were going, I think it was game, what would that be? Going into game 10. She came down and she just kind of gave me a look like I'm struggling. I was like, well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to shoot 260 this next game, and I'm going to try to make a run for it. Because she comes down, she's like, oh, I shot 220. I'm like, oh, all right. She goes, what are you shooting? I'm like, I'm shooting 260. I shot 258. And she's like, well, if you can do it, I can do it. And she did it, 220, 250, 260. She had, I think, the front 8 of the last game of last night and ended up shooting 269, 268. And she put on a little session there at the end, just fading right into the pocket. And she's been trying to find that this pass squad this morning and now this afternoon, but they're a little rough, and lane to lane, even on the pairs, lane to lane are just completely different.
Well, a little bit less traffic today, and different caliber of players, I think, not mixed in as much, but only 2 on a pair compared to 4 yesterday. But now, pretty good match here. Josie Ernest still trying to make her run here.
Oh.
She needs a mark here in the 10th to come away with this victory. She's in 11th place, 227 pins behind 4th place. Might be a little too much at this point, but again, don't want to count anybody out, not at this level by any means. We've seen Josie for sure, and a lot of these players throw big shots when they need to. She was on the Queen Show in 2012. We saw her find some success. I did personally at the Tournament of the Americas back, that's a decade now already, when her and Kayla Bandy were just kids back then.
Now just keep it on the lane. But I think after this game there might be a little bit of shuffling around there towards 5th through 9th.
So definitely, and looking at the prize fund earlier, not too much of a difference.
Del Ballard interrupting our broadcast here.
All right, Del giving us a score correction, saying that Danielle McEwen wasn't as close as we thought on paper. So a little more separation now between 3rd and 4th. So it should be very interesting to see the updates here. Josie comes away with the victory, 207 to 197. Sherry Tan was in 12th. Josie was in 11th. So definitely a lot of work for both of them to do if they're going to climb their way up. We'll have the updated standings as soon as everybody's done and they're able to get those set. But Jazzy Tan still cruising, and we'll have game number 5 coming up in just a few minutes. All right, so game number 5 underway.
Could be a big match right here. Diana and Danielle.
Well, these are the faces of women's bowling we've seen over the last few years, and they're out there, ambassadors for working their way through the ranks. Danielle, of course, coming up through junior bowling, junior gold, Team USA. Collegiate bowling, and now one of the fortunate few to graduate right into the PWBA Tour.
Yep. There we go.
So we'll have the updated standings here very shortly. They've been great about that all week, and updated on PWBA.com. All right, now you're watching the final block of match play here at the 2015 PWBA Lubbock Sports Open at South Plains Lanes. And this really is a tour. Started things last week in Sacramento, and now heading down south to Lubbock, and then across the Great Plains to Wichita coming up next week, and see in all parts of the country. And things will wrap up for most players Labor Day weekend in New Jersey at Brunswick Zone Carolier, the U.S. Women's Open, a major, and one last chance to get into that Players Championship, and then right before school starts, or right around school starting for you, and then get back to business.
Yep. That tournament will be about 2 weeks before our season can officially start with practices. So it's going to be a busy summer, falling right into the school year. So definitely a lot of traveling, a lot of miles being driven now.
Well, already a couple of nice paydays for you.
Helps a little bit. Swing wasn't too loose. Probably a little too loose this week. Maybe that was the problem. Now got a little hint of what it is to sit back and watch the top 16, knowing that you can be out there. So time to get the shoes back on and get ready.
Well, you've had a few events each year since graduating, and a couple of pretty significant paydays. Gotta help the confidence for sure. You proved yourself, of course, in 2011 at the Queens, and then 2012, the Women's Championships. Not too bad to you.
No, not too bad. Not bad for my first year. Remember Lindsay asked me to bowl, and I said, sure, why not? And she ended up getting pushed down an escalator the night before. And I just remember making fun of the person who fell because I didn't know who it was until I walked in the next day, and she was all bandaged up. But she pulled through, and we had a great year that year. And from there on out, we've had a good year now. But kind of disappointed that we didn't have too good of a doubles this past season, or this past month, due to my lack of effort there. But yeah.
Well, we talked earlier about the team feel here on tour. Of course, all you guys with Storm and Roto Grip, and all the support of the companies, and just industry-wide. And we talked to Erin McCarthy a little bit earlier about her affiliation with Ebonite International, and building that team atmosphere out here, and people supporting each other, whether you're bowling or not. And of course, all the company reps here as well, here to help all the players, not just the staffers necessarily, but just for the good of the game. And you guys helping each other, cheering for each other. That's got to feel pretty good, especially coming from the team background with the Junior Team USA, and then bowling collegiately, where that's what you know. Always good to turn around and see those folks behind you, when it's time, especially during a crucial match like you had last week.
Oh yeah, it makes it a lot more comfortable, a lot easier to throw some better shots, knowing that you still got that support and the encouragement coming from everybody who is on the team with us. And I know last weekend after I threw the first shot in the 10th frame, Jim told me to make sure I look at the crowd, and I purposely tried not to look at him or Lindsay because I knew that it would be over from there, and I probably wouldn't be able to see the lane to even throw the ball. But I held it together, and yeah, it was just awesome. And having Barb there too, Barb Chrisman, there to present the trophy to myself, and that was pretty cool too. They're definitely great owners, and definitely the best ball company out there, Roto Griffin Storm, for sure. That's not just the plug, that is the truth. As you can see right here in the top 16, I think we got a good amount of the girls with Roto and Storm in their hands.
Well, industry-wide, everybody pulling for the PWBA Tour and USBC and BPAA with a 3-year commitment to make this thing work. And the entry numbers have been there, and the excitement from the bowling centers and the cities certainly there, and the numbers online, all the clicks and viewers on Extra Frame here, we do appreciate it, and off to a very strong start, and a couple good matches here with some potential as we get ready for the 24-game standings. Looks like they're updated online, and hopefully whatever corrections need to be done were made.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a big gap now between 3rd and 4th. Oh, we got a tie for 4th.
Jazriel Tan maintaining her lead, plus 695. Missy Parkin second at plus 553. Stephanie Johnson on our featured pair right now at plus 537, and then a significant drop-off, but still pretty close down that way for the 4th spot. Danielle McEwen, Christina Wendell tied at plus 386. Katie Sutphin not far behind, 358. And Kayla Bandy hanging around at plus 309.
Yeah, the scores seem to be dropping off here.
Jezreel averaged 224 through qualifying and has been dropping about a pin a game here in this block, but had enough of a head start after this morning's 8 games to be able to hold up at the top. And sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes not so much. Last week, Christina Wendell leading the whole way, came up short in the championship match. I don't know. You've seen it kind of both ways.
Yes,
which is preferred and which is more comfortable for you?
Comfort-wise was definitely leading and not having to worry so much about having to beat or go through the ladder. But being in second place and having an extra match did kind of take an advantage because I was able to pick up on the difference of the lanes and being able to play them how they needed to be played before coming in for the championship match. So that did help. I know in college there was a crystal pin curse for Wichita State girls that we were like, do we really want the crystal pin this year? But yeah, so that's sometimes what I think about as well when I think about leading all the way and just some superstitions, I guess, some people have.
Okay, now when you get to that point, and of course you know what's on the line, and for some they're chasing that banner. That's pretty significant in their careers. Prize money doesn't hurt either. But what are you thinking about more? As you're getting close, are you thinking about the money or are you thinking about the prestige?
I didn't even think about the money at all because when you start thinking of that, then you start to get in your own way a little bit. You take the fun and the passion out of the game that you've been doing for so long. So, why take the fun out of it? So, I didn't even think about that. All I just kept thinking about was just throwing good shots, and pretty sure that's what Jazzy is doing right now. Just keeping it in line and filling the frames, it looks like. Looks like she's got a pretty good game going on right now. Down there.
Down on the far side, Josie Ernest and Jazriel Tant. We've got former PBA Rookie of the Year, Chris Johnson, hanging around, checking out Stephanie Johnson, seeing how she's doing, and ready to cheer her on as she makes her run at the TV show here. We call it a TV show, but did it kind of have that feel to it a little bit?
In Sacramento, it definitely did. It was packed. That show was packed out there. You weren't there, but they had a storm banner hanging or set up on the pair about 2 lanes down from the live stream pair, and they had to keep moving it because more and more people kept trying to sit and they couldn't see. So that was pretty cool. And the young kids along the side, the future of the sport, that was pretty cool too. I could tell they were nervous sitting there right next to the action going on. So it was just really a really great atmosphere and just packed and hot.
Well, you've certainly performed under the TV lights before, and no doubt that helped with the comfort level a little bit. And these players we're watching now have been in the same situation, of course. Jazriel Tan bowling for her country and probably dozens of international medals and success previously at Wichita State. Missy Parkin, of course, and Stephanie Johnson making many TV shows in various events and capacities. Danielle McEwen made the U.S. Open TV show, probably people would argue the toughest event that there is. Not only is it a long, grueling format, but a ridiculously tough lane condition as well.
Yes, it is. That is. But it's the one you look forward to most. As weird as that might sound. More difficult, I think the better.
As we roll on here, McEwen cruising in her match against Diana Zabielova.
Wow.
Nice break there. Collapses the bucket. She's got 6 out of 7. She's going to need every one of them as that separation between 3rd and 4th. Stephanie Johnson, one pair to the right, essentially matching Danielle. So she's making up no pins at this point, but still at the same time trying to hold off Christina Wendell and Katie Sutphin and Kayla Bandy.
She's got some work to do to hold off some Kayla Bandy, that's for sure.
And at this point, if Kayla and Danielle both strike out, she'll pick up 1 pin as Kayla is on 270 pace as well. So I think you can feel that intensity. It's getting down to crunch time here, and it's a matter of, can you step up for that big game when you need it, or are you going to buckle under the pressure? And I say that more the latter for me. That's how I landed this gig, sitting here behind the cameras all the time. But it's great to see these players grow over the years and all that they've experienced, and be able to tell those stories and kind of feel connected to it.
Yeah, Damon explained to me, not explained, but we were talking about the whole banner and everything, and on the PBA truck, the banners that hang in there, Roth, all of them. You have a banner, now you're part of that. And that really hit me when he said that to me yesterday afternoon. And, I didn't bowl so well, but like I said, I was happy to cash. But just knowing that a little bit in the back of my mind kind of helped settle things down a little bit and really make me want another one.
Definitely a ton of history, and just looking back, we always keep a couple of copies of the old PWBA program, the very last one from 2003, just for reference purposes, and just reading through there and seeing all the names in the history. And I've never been to a PWBA event previously. I've only seen them on TV, but I can imagine the atmosphere, and compared to like a PBA event, very similar, but different at the same time. And you go out there and you see those guys, and what it means when they finally win, and they've chased it for so long. Guys like Chris Lowshutter, recently EJ Tackett, Ronnie Russell, and just what it means to them. Pretty cool. And then you mentioned, of course, the all-time greats, and now being a part of that club, and going back in ladies' history, pretty significant accomplishment there, and you'll always be listed. And eventually that banner will hang for you somewhere.
Yep.
Once you retire, take it home, and something that nobody can take away.
Nope, it'll always be there, no matter what.
So Danielle and Kayla both continuing to strike here. Kayla down one pair to our left.
Missy has about a 250, 260 going on as well. 269 if she strikes out. Not sure what Jazzy's doing.
We are spread out a little bit here in this 40-lane center, giving the competitors a little bit of room. And of course, the crowd continues to grow a little bit as we get closer to the stepladder finals, which will be at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 local time here in Lubbock. So if you're nearby and you want to see the champion crowned here at the PWBA Lubbock Sports Open, come on out. We're here. Alicia Current's here. Her banner is here as well. And one of these lucky ladies will be taking home $10,000. And we'll have that very same moment next week in Wichita. And if you want to see that banner presentation, it is posted on Bowl TV.
I had no idea what was going on, just so you know, when that was happening.
I think you can see it in your eyes a little bit when you open the banner, and there it was, and it clicked for you. And then Jimbo Evans taking it down and hanging it up for you over lane 20. So we're getting down to the final frames here. Got 4 games left, 3 after this one.
A little bit of breathing room for Danielle now.
Christina Wendell shot 205. She was tied with Danielle here. So, and Christina will not win her match against Kayla Bandy. So her and Kayla will flip-flop in the standings. Danielle still with a big 10th frame ahead of her. A lot of pins out there for her to help that separation a little bit. Got a lot of work to do to catch Missy and Stephanie at this point. But shooting 279 and winning at 100 pins will help quite a bit.
That does. That helps a lot.
And if she has a good time doing that, if she wants to do it again, another 100 pins would be very helpful as well.
$244 for Kayla Bandy.
So open in the 10th. She'll pick up 74 pins there with the win. And at least put her in position. She's going to go around Katie Sutphin and Christina Wendell. Sutphin bowls 170, so she'll lose 30 sticks there.
Can't quite see what Jazrael is bowling. She is in the 10th frame right now. Kicked out a 10 pin for Jazzy. Looks like that was for a double.
And based on the live scoring, for the win. She should finish. It's like 218. squeaking out a victory over Josie Owners, 208. So another 48 pins for Jazzy.
Missy's trying. She shot 268 there. It's another almost 100 pins.
Missy making moves. Stephanie struggling a little bit here at the back half of game number 5. She started off with 5 of the first 6. And that was a pair of opens, and she's going to win. But it looked like it was going to be huge there early on. And Danielle now closing that gap quite a bit. Strike here puts her in the 270s. Pretty effortless. What are you thinking at this point? I mean, you're 25 games in and still got a shot. And, how do you keep your emotions in check? You don't see a lot of that fire just yet, or everybody's worn out. Hard to tell.
I think the ones that are worn out, you can kind of see that in their physical game here a little bit. You know, just the leaving a lot of pins out there. The fire being shown through, just making those good shots and hoping that they fall over the right way. Getting those breaks. Like Danielle just got a couple breaks there that game, but she was making good shots.
278, 189 victory. Danielle picks up 108 pins with her bonus sticks.
Way to go. 8?
Stephanie
She's
Johnson.
only 150 from Steph.
Yeah, Steph just gave up a few pins there. 3 opens in the back half of her game. She wins, so she'll get the bonus pins and kind of erase that minus there. But certainly at this point in the game, don't want to give away any pins, and not that it matters too much once you get to the step ladder as far as being the 3 or 4 seed. Lane choice at that point. But you don't want to go into it on the way down. You want to have a good finish, a strong finish, and some confidence going into the step ladder. But more than anything, you want to get there.
Yeah, you want to definitely keep that momentum going.
So Steph still going into that game, potentially could catch a Missy and get to the 2 seed even. So it could be an interesting couple of games here as we wind down and we get ready for game number 6 of this second block of match play. Sherry Tan's gonna finish things up, and we get to watch Jazreel one more time here. It's my understanding 19 and 20 will be the TV pair, so we don't have to go anywhere once it's time.
Well, it looks like we got teammates bowling against each other here. Shayna and Jazzy.
We got 5 players in town from Singapore. 4 of them made the top 16. The 5th one just one spot out, and 17th as the alternate this week. A terrific showing.
Yeah, they're here for, I think, 2 more stops.
Jazzy said they'll be here. Definitely going to Wichita. I think that'll be a nice time for her. She hasn't been to the United States since 2014 Queens. And that was her first time, or only time, since graduating in 2013. So going back to Wichita, probably pretty special. Bowling in front
For
of
both of us.
the hometown fans for you guys. And then they're going to go home and return for the U.S. Open in September. So I'm sure there's plenty to bowl for them in Asia.
Yeah, from what I see online with Jazzy, she's all over the place.
They stay pretty
Traveling.
busy. All right, so as you mentioned, Shayna Ung and Jazzy Tan about to do battle here on 19 and 20.
This could be a fun match.
think right now they're starting the match by comparing injuries. As, it's been a long couple of days. A lot of skin patches and different things being used. This is where those interchangeable thumbs come in handy, and everything seems to swell, changing out grips.
Oh yeah. Last weekend I was happy that my fingers got halfway into the ball during some point of the last 8 games. It was rough. I was talking to Jazzy earlier today, and she actually has a couple of injuries as she's bowling this week. Can't really tell by the performance of her game.
Well, between that and Clara's dislocated rib, I still am confused by that one. I'm going to look that up on WebMD after this. We talked to Liz Johnson at the Queens, and she was battling some pretty serious knee problems, and clearly that didn't hurt her as she took home the victory there. She also cashed this week. She was the final check. So a nice start to the season for her. Last week she was in Japan, didn't get to compete in Sacramento. And our other match, also from Singapore, Daphne Tan and Tania Falbo. And people wrote in earlier and wanted to know if Daphne and Jazriel are related, and I have no idea.
I have zero clue. I can ask Jazzy if people really want to know.
Just folks very curious about the backstories of all the players, of course. You can find a lot of those bios on PWBA.com, and Google will bring up some good information about all the success that Jazriel has had overseas bowling for Singapore.
You might need a couple days to look at that.
They do stay very busy, and a lot of hardware brought home, a lot of medals.
I can watch Jazzy bowl all day. It's effortless.
Well, more than likely you're going to see her bowl at least one more game later today. She has been cruising.
Yes, she is on cruise control.
There are the standings already updated through 25 games. So 4 games remaining. And she is on top of the standings at plus 743. 10 wins, 3 losses today. So those bonus pins crucial for her, as the rest of the field might be catching up in overall average, but those bonus pins, 300 bonus pins, keeping her ahead of the field. Missy Parkin, second place at plus 651. And then another 100 pin drop off, Stephanie Johnson, 553. Danielle McEwen holding the 4th spot at 494, and almost another 100 pins back, Kayla Bandy. So some possibilities, but our top 2 are looking pretty comfortable, I think, for making the step ladder here.
Yeah, I would say so too.
In women's bowling over the past decade, there's a pretty good chance that if you're going to turn on the TV, you're going to see either Missy Parkin, Liz Johnson, Kelly Kulik, Linda Barnes, Shannon O'Keefe, some very familiar faces, sometimes all of them. But I think, as we saw this week in person here in Lubbock, that list should be a whole lot longer with the caliber of players who are out here now as full-time tour players.
Yeah, I think the memberships that we have, where are we at? About 80 to 100, somewhere around there?
Growing every day. I would imagine it has to be triple digits by now, as folks realize this is the real deal. I think there were some skeptical at first, or at least wanted to see how things looked before they made that kind of commitment. But I can imagine everybody wanting to buy into being part of this atmosphere.
Definitely. And you know, we don't know the patterns until we hit the lanes for practice session on Thursday. and some might see it as, you know, not a good thing, and some it just doesn't really matter to, because it's all fair play then. And I mean, I think it's good so far. I've seen a lot of different faces in the top 16 here after the first 2 weeks, and I think that's what it's about. It's not just one person's tour. It's our tour, and it's back.
Well, it's been a good variety of lane conditions so far. Last week was 44 feet. This week, 40 feet. And can you describe the difference a little bit as we're getting comfortable, getting locked in here for game number 6?
Wow. The difference that I saw, I know for me, I played them opposite of what they should have been. Try to be left in the first 6 games. Trying to swing it a little bit and play the room that there was there, but couldn't really hit it, couldn't get anything going. Then decided to go right the second 6. Seeing that a lot of people were having some success there in the first 6 games, but should have kept left there and might have had a chance, as that's what it played out to be. But last week they were tough. It played a lot longer than the 44 feet that it was. I'm assuming that's, you know, with the flex machine and the ice oil that they're using out on tour, and obviously different lane surface than last weekend. But the going from lane to lane here it's terrible. You don't know what you're going to catch. You have no idea if you're going to have to move left, right, balling up, balling down. Might be absolutely a crazy idea to be doing something that you just never thought of, and it's going to work. That's what I've been seeing here lately for some of the girls. But there's the lane. I think the frustrating thing is from lane to lane and pair to pair for this week. Last week there was only one pair that I saw that was grueling and game changer for a lot of people, and I don't think there's just one pair here this week. It's all of them, as you can see from the scores jumping all around.
Well, all part of the challenge, of course, and everybody getting to hit each one of these pairs a couple times, and this pair proving to be no trouble for Shayna Ung so far, as she is 5 for 5. And Jazzy, I think at this point, just focus on getting as many pins as she can, and Missy about 90 pins back. So that could get interesting. They're gonna, of course, in the position round, the top 2 will bowl each other. So mathematically, could have some interesting implications there.
Could all change here within a game.
I mean, 90 pins, not a lot. Looks like Missy on Dutch 200 pace against Josie Ernest down to our right, so we'll keep an eye on that. And Jazriel will just keep throwing shots like that, and it won't matter, as she doubles up to at least stay close here early in game number 6. Our other match, Falbo and Daphne Tan. Falbo made a nice run yesterday right after the lunch break, and was able to get enough pins there to survive. I guess the end didn't go as well, but she got enough to get into the top 16 and having another strong week here.
Yep,
in
making
Lubbock.
back-to-back top 16. I think we have three girls that made back-to-back here. Missy, Steph, and Tania. Or 4, sorry, Christina too.
So I think as you go from stop to stop, you'll see some of those regional players that aren't able to travel as much or as far. Some great players even. We saw, last week on the West Coast, I'm sure that Leanna Holstenberg was around, and as we get down, I'm surprised Kim Kearney didn't come out this way. Still a pretty good drive from the Dallas area, but a lot going on, of course, with Junior Gold and different events. So all of those who are coaches or moms are a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, definitely a lot easier for some of us younger girls, I guess, who who have the ability and the freedom. Not so many other distractions going on to be able to come out here week after week.
Great shot there by Tania. Her first strike here in this game comes in the 5th frame. Daphne Tan strikes spare, strikes spare. See Parkin falling behind a little bit to Josie Ernest. Josie with a 4-bagger. And looks like 6 out of 7 with an open in the middle. Josie's about 220 pins out of the TV show right now.
Shayna with 7. Not gonna let her teammate win.
Sure, a friendly level of competition here between the teammates, and just like we talked about with Team Storm, Team Roto, Team EBI, just a lot of support, and
Always cheering for each other.
right now it looks like Shayna and Sherry Tan and Daphne Tan probably not going to be making the top 4 here, so they're going to give every bit of support they can to their teammate who's still in the running. As I'm sure you'd be doing as well if we didn't reel you into the live stream booth here.
Yeah. It's not going too well for Lindsay this afternoon, or actually both sets here. Just can't get anything going really. Same problem I had yesterday.
You gotta feel pretty good though that even on your not your best day, quadrupling your money.
It's fine with me.
So if I could go to an event, every event, and have that same, I'll take that just about every time.
Yeah, I think anybody really would with how they're trying to get roommate situations and, you know, split the cost between one another, helping a little bit more of the money go into your pocket than out helps a little bit. I know Lindsay and I are fortunate enough to know a couple people, and some of the stops we're going to and staying at their houses and being able to cook our own food, you know, do laundry and not have to worry about paying for hotel, and we're driving as well, so we have our own car, so it's not too bad of a gig right now.
Well, I guess that's an interesting question too. You know, in the old days, maybe the event lasted the entire week, where there's a couple shorter days of qualifying and then a couple shorter days of match play and pro-ams and different things. So it was a whole week-long activity. So you're living in a hotel for that entire time and then traveling to the next stop. But now with the shorter duration, just a couple of days, really you could come in if you wanted to Friday morning. It'd be probably pretty tired with practice and everything, but potentially you come in Thursday night, Friday morning, bowl all day, still get a pretty good check, and then get on your way, or even bowl match play and get out of here reasonable time Saturday night, get home by Sunday. Which do you prefer as far as, you know, would you rather be out there the whole week, kind of laid back a little bit, trying to fill the time, or do you prefer the shorter full days?
I'd rather be out, I think. That's how it was for me the first tournament. Had a little bit more extra time, a little bit more relaxed. Was able to make sure I had everything and was ready to go. And this weekend, or this past week, you know, fly into Albuquerque on Wednesday evening, grab a quick bite to eat, go to bed, and get up early in the morning to get here in time for some media and then practice. So a little bit of rushing around, been traveling on the plane and everything, so a little worn down from that, but I can only imagine what the girls from Japan on different time zones are going through. I know we talked to Liz last night, and she's been in 5 different places this past week, staying somewhere. So I mean, it takes a toll on your body and your mind. So for me, I'd rather be getting to the place where I need to be and having, you know, at least a day or two to get myself situated. And whether we're lucky enough to do that or not, but, you know, we don't want to take any chances of possibly not getting to an event because of bad weather, especially being in the Midwest, traveling to the Midwest. You have no idea what the weather's going to be like. I know Lindsay almost didn't make it to Sacramento because she kept getting delayed on all of her planes trying to get there. So she got in about 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday morning, got up and did the practice session and bowled that day. So it's a pretty long day.
Well, as this long day comes to a close pretty soon, we've got a pretty good match here for Shayna Ung and Jazriel Tan. Shayna with just the one miscue there can shoot 266 still. And Jazzy just trying to hang on to as many sticks as she can. She's got a pretty decent game going on here too. Got Missy Parkin and Josie Ernest down to our right.
I think Missy needs the next one for 2-0.
Looks like Josie in control would then just need good count and a mark in the 10th. Stephanie Johnson too far down. We can check her out on live scoring. I keep forgetting that that's available this week. Technology is getting pretty fancy.
It sure is.
Good match going on between Stephanie and Danielle down on 7 and 8. If you want to check that out, pwba.com/live. And you'll see a link to the live scoring there.
Potentially for 3rd place, at least for seating wise and lane choice, like how you said earlier.
About 60 pins separate.
Those 30 pins help right now.
Bonus pins, very important. Bonus pins is what's keeping Jazzy Tan in the lead right now. Missy strikes out down to our right for 204. So she'll potentially lose ground to Jazriel Tan here if Josie Ernest can mark here in the 10th. Very well bowled game for 215. Josie strikes for the win.
Oh,
she gotta
she needs.
keep it on the lane.
Yep.
There's 2 more games coming up, and then it'll be time for the step ladder finals and get our calculators out here pretty soon.
Josie got just enough count there. I think Steph marked. I think she struck at the 10th first ball. It looks like from down here. She doubled. She'll come out with the win.
So Steph needs 8 pins here to
No,
lock up.
I think she has a double. It's hard to see down there.
Well, would be a max score of 215. 7 they tie. 8 she wins.
She
Great
struck.
shot.
Oh, now she has a double. You were right.
Well, now we know at least the lag time of the live scoring option here. On our screen, Stephanie still has not bowled in the 10th frame. In our other match here, Daphne Tan cruising to a win. We use that word a lot today. There's a lot of cruising going on here at the Lubbock Sports Open. Daphne shoots 217.
Her teammate Sherry Tan has 265 if she strikes here in the last ball.
All right, so Stephanie Johnson, 214, 212 over Danielle McEwen. Big 10th frame, double and 9 to get there by 2 sticks, and that'll come with 30 extra bonus pins to help hold off McEwen. So that was a very important win for Stephanie. Second time today we've seen her strike out, or at least double in the 10th, to get just enough to come away with. And those 60 pins, that's the difference right now between being there and taking off your shoes here in a little while. So we'll get ready for 2 more games. And if you want to escape, here's your chance. 266, 215 for Shayna Ung over Jazriel Tan. And 217, possible 167 for Tania Falbo here. And we'll get ready for our final 2 games. Coming up here in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us. The live coverage from the PWBA Lubbock Sports Open. Matt Canizaro alongside Alicia Curran here. And we're in the home stretch as we get ready for the 6:30 local time stepladder finals tonight, 7:30 Eastern. We'll be here for the final 2 games and then back at it for that. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, we are back here on Extra Frame. Live coverage from the 2015 PWBA Lubbock Sports Open. Third event on the PWBA schedule for this year. And match play winding down. This is game number 7 of 8 on this block. And these ladies have bowled 8 games this morning. And now they're wrapping up 8 games this afternoon. Very, very long couple of days. And very profitable for some. And of course, a great experience of bowling in front of this almost standing room only crowd here at South Plains Lanes. Right now, Kayla Bandy taking on Katie Sutphin and Christina Wendell against Allie Ijam. So a couple good matches here, and again, we'll have updated standings for you in just a minute through 26 games. A couple of these players still in the hunt for the step ladder, at least through 25 games. So as soon as that's up, we'll give you the rundown. Should be along momentarily right now. Former Junior Team USA member Kayla Bandy, collegiate champion at Pikeville, and now a collegiate coach. You guys giving back.
We're in the same conference too, so we see each other week in, week out, all year long.
All right, so through 26 games, Jazzy Tan a 103-pin lead over Missy Parkin. So I have a feeling that their position round match is going to be pretty exciting. Missy Parkin at plus 655. Stephanie Johnson in third place at plus 597, and her win over Danielle McEwen helped her open that gap a little bit. Danielle in fourth at plus 506, and then 76 pins back, Christina Wendell. Kayla Bandy 78 pins back. So these two matches pretty significant here. Those bonus pins very important, and a big game for either one of those could catapult them into the top 4. Claire Guerrero, a little bit of a distant 7th place at plus 369, 137 pins out of the cut. And Katie Sutphin in 8th place, just 2 pins behind Clara. 139 pins away, but already an open frame here early in this second to last game. So we got good eyes on Stephanie Johnson. A couple pairs to our right.
Jazzy's at the other end of the house.
Yeah, I don't see Missy at all, but she's got to be here somewhere. There's no taking a game off.
I believe she's actually bowling Jazzy. I think that's the matchup right now. So they will be bowling back-to-back matches against each other.
Yeah, potentially with the position round coming up, and if Missy can have a big game here and pick up a win, that certainly will make the finale that much more exciting. So Allie down in 11th place. Kayla with an early advantage here over Katie Sutphin. And the rest of the folks just bowling for a difference of a few dollars at this point. 16th place, $1,300. If you can get up to 8th place, $1,750. It's a whole entry fee right there, and then some.
It is.
So pretty good money, pretty significant. Of course, to go out there and get every pin you can. Only $50 increments from 16th on up, but $50, that almost pays for a one night in a hotel.
Especially when you're splitting it. That pays for the whole weekend, really. Or a tank of gas. Looks like Steph figured out the pair there against Diana.
Could be a good match, and very important one as well for Stephanie to hold off Danielle, who is just to our left. Danielle taking on Sherry Tan from Singapore, the left-hander.
Might add, the only left-hander that has gone plus in the past 2 tournaments. And the first one to make the top 16.
She got the left side to herself all day long here. And definitely an interesting statistic. I think as the weeks unfold, we'll see some different stat lists and points lists.
Wow.
Nice spare pick up there for Kayla. Take it and run. Not the textbook way, I'm sure, that you teach the college students how to pick up the baby split, but
Seen that a couple times today. Pin pops out and behind it, and it's been getting the 10 pin out a couple times here.
again, Christina Wendell and Kayla Bandy, 76, 78 pins back of Danielle McEwen. You got her off to the left here. So they're gonna have to outbowl her and win. Down on 7 and 8 if you want to check out the live scoring. Missy leading Jazreel Tan by 12 at the halfway point. Those two likely will face each other in back-to-back games with the position round coming up next. Of course, the number 1 seed guaranteed at least $5,000. Got to make you feel pretty good.
It does.
Are you watching live coverage here on Extra Frame? The whole PWBA season will be available here, and very reasonable subscription fee for Extra Frame. It gets you the PBA Tour action and PBA 50. So if you're a bowling fan, plan to subscribe. Otherwise, this all will be uploaded on Bowl TV later in the week. If you want to watch it live, you have to subscribe.
It's more fun watching it live, that is for sure. I know a couple of my family members and friends were a little nervous last week watching it live back on the East and in the Midwest. But Linda and Lucas did a great job commentating last week, and that was good.
Always makes it better. I tell people when we get on, sometimes it's just easier to turn off the sound and do your own commentary and just watch the great bowling. But we'll see. I believe Carolyn Doran-Ballard will be joining us for the step ladder today. She knows a thing or two about bowling and sideline reporting.
Yeah, she's pretty good at that.
So I'm looking forward to that. The USBC Hall of Famer. Her husband Dell here as well. Keep your tabs on the Storm and Roto folks this week. Doing so right now for Sherry Tan and Danielle McEwen in their match.
Still a pretty close match with Steph and Diana, it looks like.
Looks like Stephanie's up 14 after 6. She's only 58 pins behind Missy Parkin. Who's up 10 over Jazriel Tan. We will have a short break after this game as we get situated with our top 16 for position round.
Looks like Jazzy's slowing down a little bit here this game. She's limping a little bit. I know her right ankle was bothering her, so she's still fighting through that. Sherry Tan making Danielle work for this one.
Well, there's definitely no quit in these 16 players. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of ice packs and such after competition today, and
Advil.
and whatever you can do in a 13-hour car ride to nurse a hand back to health.
Keep the AC on it the whole way.
Steph's still up 14 over Diana. Great shot by Katie.
The ones right out of the cut definitely got to turn the lights on here this last half of their games.
Can't throw it better than that. 9-pin for Christina Wendell. She finds herself down to Allie. IJMs with just a couple frames to go. Allie working on a double. A shot for Kayla. Left off her hand. Ball started to look very heavy.
Yep, and the farther left you go, the more it just wants to hook. It's a weird angle you gotta get there into the pocket if you're gonna be that deep.
And you mentioned as much as it is physically demanding, it wears you out mentally. A lot of thinking and a lot of things to consider and trying to stay ahead of the moves. And which one usually happens first for you?
I think mentally, I start to go a little quicker, but I have been working on that a little bit, getting a little better at that. I know after last weekend, usually I'm just mentally exhausted, but I was definitely physically and mentally exhausted and just ready to go to sleep for about a week. Bowled all but one game last week, including the Pro-Am and the practice sessions.
Surprisingly, watching bowling for 28 games also is physically and mentally challenging, but awesome at the same time because it's been 12 years since we've really had this opportunity full time. And I think there'll be a lot of folks, and we talked, I think Kayla's parents actually drove out in a motorhome or something of the sort.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And of course, a lot of parents and friends and family members making some or all of the trips and helping with the driving and the expenses and watching the kids, and just a great opportunity. And I think that exhaustion goes away and you feel better, and there's a lot of memories, of course, being made here already.
Makes you feel like a junior bowler again. A little bit. But it does make it a lot easier when you have that little bit of support behind you and not doing it alone.
Our match is here, coming down to the end. Allie Jams still got some of that fire here in game 27.
Diana needs to strike and mark, it looks like, to get Steph by 1. Can't tell if that's a 3 or an 8.
It looks like 193.
A 193? All right, never mind then.
That will force Diana to double.
Well, strike out. Double 9 for a tie.
A little excitement.
Oh no, it is 183.
It's 183 with she opened in the 9th.
202.
202 for Steph, and Diana can strike out for 214.
Danielle won her match 214, so a couple more pins in her favor. Could be all the difference right now for Danielle to make a move up into 3rd, heading into position round.
Danielle 91 pins behind Stephanie Johnson. Diana gets 9. If she spares here, she'll need a strike for the win. Nine is a tie. Anything less, Stephanie gets the bonus pins and picks up some ground. Or loses less ground, I guess, in that case.
Allie Ijam's taking some pins away from Christina this game.
So a little bit of drama here in the middle of the pack. Christina Wendell and Kayla Bandy just 2 pins apart, but Christina will not win. Kayla is going to win. So Kayla will go around Christina. Katie Sutphin struggling here. She's going to fall back quite a bit. Let's see what Diana does here. She needs strike to win, 9 to tie. At least 1 pin standing, the 10 pin.
Tie.
So they have tied. So Danielle picks up about 20 pins on Stephanie. Gonna have to win by a bunch, plus the 30 there in the position round. And at that point, lane choice, the only benefit. Looks like it's going to be a 5-player race for 4 spots.
Yeah.
And Kayla being
depends what Kayla does here in the 10th frame.
Great shot. She'll be a distant 5th, I think, but still with some potential. Jazzy Tan finishes with 194. And that game is over in person, but the live scoring hasn't caught up yet, so appears.
No, Missy's still bowling. They're at the end pair.
So Missy needing at least a double to win.
I want to say she got the first one, it looks like.
She did not like that one off her hand from here. Potentially had already gotten enough.
Oh, 4 pins
No,
short.
Missy with 190. So Jazzy picks up a few more sticks.
That should seal it for Jazzy. I don't think there's really...
She leads by well over 100. Just got a message from a little birdie. Told me that you're going to be doing an interview tomorrow on the Bowler Show.
Yes, on the way back from... Or on the way to Wichita, I should say.
David Waswo, big supporter of USBC and the Open Championships and bowling in general. And I just realized I was nervous about missing my spot on the show on Sunday. I realized the Open Championships and Women's Championships over for the year. So my spot is gone. That's it. My time is over with the Bowler Show until next March. And I'll get on there every once in a while. But very cool to see the support. A lot of great folks out there. Dave Waswo and the other folks in Florida. The Let's Go Bowling Show. Do that one on Wednesday mornings with Bill Zubin. Just nice to see all the support out there, and certainly a lot to talk about with Junior Gold this week. And now the PWBA, of course, your big win last week in Sacramento. And, of course, we'll have a new champion here today. So Dave will have plenty of time and plenty of things to fill my spot on the show. But I look forward to next year.
Position round will begin momentarily. And we'll start on lanes 19 and 20.
All right, so here we go. We got the short break here as we tabulate the scores and figure out what's what. I believe we'll have our top 2 seeds, Missy Parkin and Jazriel Tan, here on 19 and 20. And we'll be right back shortly with the final game coming right up. It's Matt Canizaro and Alicia Current. Thanks for joining us here on Extra Frame.
My brain is on vacation.
got our score sheets tabulated. We'll begin position around here. Lanes 19 to 20 are tournament leaders so far. Jazreel Tan averaging 216. She's plus 782. She'll square off against Missy Parkin. That's some fantastic bowling, absolutely. On lanes 21 to 22, Stephanie Johnson, Daniel McEwen, 3 and 4 currently right now in the standings. Almost 86 pins out on lanes 25 and 26. Kayla Vandy and Christina Wendell, who's 126 out. A couple of outside chances there. To lanes 27 and 28, Daphne Tang, Clara Guerrero. Down to 7 and 8, Catherine Sutphin and Alexis Igens. Lanes 9 and 10, Josie Ernest versus Shania 13 and 14, Sherry Tan versus Diana Zagalova. 15 and 16, Lindsay Boomershot versus Tania Falvo. Ladies, if you'll head to your match play pairs for position round and get going here. Scorekeepers, if you will have to put names in to get the scoring lanes to come on. Bowlers, when the lanes come on, you'll have 5 minutes of practice. PWBA.com. I asked you if you wanted a hard copy. You said no. Oh, was that Mike?
Get that light on as well.
Okay, bowlers, please hold up on your practice. Practice time is over, no more deliveries. Cycle your pin centers back to the number 1 ball setting, please. All right, bowling fans, this is it, our 8th and final game in match play. As I mentioned, 1 and 2 on 19 and 20, 3 and 4 and 21 and 22 over here. Outside chance on lanes 25 and 26, Christina Wendell and Kayla Bandy. Bowling fans, how about a great send-off for the game 8 in match play? Good luck, bowlers.
Or 55.
All right, folks, here we are, the final game of match play here at the 2015 PWBA Lubbock Sports Open position round, as we get ready to determine who our top 4 seeds will be here for the step ladder coming up tonight at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 local time. And we'll take a look at the standings now after 27 games of bowling. It has been a wild couple of days here. On top of the standings, Jazreal Tan plus 782. A nice, comfortable lead over Missy Parkin, who is at plus 645. Stephanie Johnson not far behind at plus 614. Danielle McEwen plus 550. And then 86 pins back, Kayla Bandy at plus 464. So right now, it kind of appears that it's probably at best a 5-player race for 4 spots here essentially to Stephanie Johnson and Danielle McEwen battling for 3-4. Missy Parkin still within reach for Stephanie. Could get pretty exciting here, Mr. Jason Thomas.
Yes, thank you, Matt. Yeah, Missy just trying to hold on to second here. That's kind of the storyline, and then unless something crazy happens, it looks like the final four is set.
We've got all the action right here in front of us on our featured pairs. Parkin and Tan here in 19 and 20. McEwen and Johnson on 21 and 22. We've got Jazriel Tan, who I believe is not a PWBA member.
That is correct.
Coming all the way from Singapore with 4 of her teammates to bowl this week. But the other players we've mentioned should all be members and in contention, ironically, for PWBA Rookie of the Year honors even.
That's right.
As they try to join Alicia Curran and Liz Johnson as the first 2 winners here this season.
Yep, trying to get a spot in that tour championship.
Well,
Alicia Curran, I'm sorry, Matt. Alicia Curran already won a spot last week and did some nice time in the booth with you today. Gave you some good insight. And then Liz Johnson, of course, won the Queens, and she's in the tour championship as well.
So we've been fortunate to have some very interesting guests in here to give us some different viewpoints on their time so far in the PWBA Tour and seeing their dreams come true. And you mentioned that the Tour Championship, and I was just going to say, for the folks at home, as we get close to adding another name to our winners list, maybe go over that event, the season ender. It's going to happen the weekend of September 10th and 11th, 12th, that weekend in Arlington, Texas, the ITRC, International Training and Research Center, the home of Team USA. But still a long way to go, and tell us a little bit about that event and how the players are going to get there.
Well, the Tour Championships, the season-ending culmination of the tour. It's going to be a 16-player field, and it's going to be determined by champions of the events that we're going to bowl here this summer. You have to be a member in order to qualify. And so all those champions will be automatically in the event, and then the rest of the field will be filled out by the points list. And the top 2 points earners from the season will be automatically seeded onto the television show. And the 3rd and 4th point earners from the season will get 1 round of bye in the bracket format. And then it's just basically a single elimination bracket format, which will determine the top 4 for the television show.
So obviously there, the reward for bowling well all season long is a guaranteed spot on that TV show, and I'm sure a good amount of prize money available for that as well. And then the rest, earn your way and keep earning. And
yeah, it'll have the same prize fund as a standard PWBA event, but there's only 16 players, so obviously everyone who qualifies will get a nice check, and then you basically double your money every match you win. This match here for the number 1 and 2 spots would have been a lot more interesting had Missy Parkin been able to strike out in the 10th in the last match. These two bowled each other, and the difference was about 100 pins, and if Missy had been able to strike out in the 10th, she would have won the match and would have been within 70 pins. But she missed, and that pushed out the lead to what it is now, which is pretty much insurmountable.
Well, Jazriel's been on top of the standings since the first round of qualifying yesterday. All players bowled 2 6-game blocks, 12 games total. She led the first round, led the second round, and has not given up control at all today through 2 8-game blocks. And we saw a similar performance last week in Sacramento out of Christina Wendell. And she actually went on to finish second, the runner-up to Alicia Curran, who defeated Missy Parkin in the stepladder and then took down Wendell as well. Missy Parkin finished third in last week's event and in a very good position to make her second consecutive PWBA quote-unquote TV show.
That's right. And obviously in good position in the point standings, but would love to win the title here and get herself locked into that Tour Championship.
So again, Kayla Bandy, 86 pins out of 4th place right now. She is down to our right a little bit. We'll keep an eye on her. Stephanie and Danielle, 64 pins apart. Stephanie's advantage. So Danielle's going to have to win by 35.
It looks like with the starts that Stephanie and Danielle are off to, that they've virtually eliminated Kayla Bandy and Christina Wendell. Christina Wendell, another nice week after her runner-up finish last week. Another thing about this 1 and 2 match is it's giving Missy and Jazz a chance to get a look at the championship pair, even though they're going to be re-oiled and they'll be fresh, but might help a little bit.
Well, we've seen all of these players a few times so far today in match play. Of course, just 16 players left of the 74 that started yesterday, and Jazzy's had kind of a down day on the scoreboard at least. Averaged 224 during qualifying, and down to 216 now overall. But she's won 11 matches, so those 300 plus bonus pins, very important, and that is definitely the difference between where she is right now and the rest of the field catching up average-wise. So bonus pins crucial, and just enough.
Yeah, but you know, as the number of games multiplies, it also multiplies your advantage in however many pins you out-average the field by. So even though she's not averaging as high today, she's still she's got that multiplier effect of 3 pins a game better than the next closest competitor. And now you're multiplying it by 28 games instead of 12. But she's just been, you know, all week she's just been able to control the pocket, and that's kind of the same thing we saw last week with Christina Wendell. She just was in control all week. And you know, when the lanes are this tough, that's all you need to do sometimes.
Well, we talked very early in the event about the lane condition this week, 40 feet compared to 44 last week. And we talked to Alicia about some of the differences, and of course you take a lot of things into consideration. The Kegel Flex lane machine, Kegel Ice Oil, the lane surface here. And I think the one thing that's consistent for all the players is the appreciation for the challenge of having to come out and make good shots, and know that it's not going to be a gimme, that they're going to have to grind for, well, at this point, 28 games and earn it, and they're loving every minute of it.
Yeah, it's been really, really nice. I've really talked to a lot of the ladies here the last 2 weeks, and I've asked them, I've given them a chance to complain if they've wanted to, and there's been 2 responses. One response is, I love it. I love the challenge. And the second response is, I just need to work on my game. I need to step up. And so nobody has said they're too hard, I can't do this. I'm quitting. They've all been, this is how it should be. This is how, a pro event should challenge you, and we want to be up for the challenge. So it's been nice, but we didn't expect the scores to be as low as they've been this week. We actually expected them to be a little higher than they were last week, and it just didn't work out that way. I think my theory that I'm sticking with at this point is that early on that there were a lot of different places you could play that would give you a decent look, and so that meant a lot of players started in a lot of different places on the lane, and so the lanes weren't kind of broken down consistently, so you never got that real defined area of friction. So therefore the scores have been lower, but right now Danielle McEwen and Stephanie Johnson both putting decent games together, and one or both of them might end up sneaking by Missy Parkin.
Definitely getting dramatic here. The final game, the position round, that's kind of what it's all about. That's why they're right here in front of the TV cameras, and only 95 pins separate fourth place McEwen and second place Parkin. And McEwen on 280 pace here.
Yeah, she's dialed in.
All the way through the 8th. So she's on her way to winning this game. The 30 bonus pins, of course, very important, and if she can outscore Missy Parkin by as much as it looks like so far. Missy not going to go away, though.
Yeah, she catches a strike there. She's in a close match right now, just trails by a pin, so she still very well could get the 30 bonus pins. But Danielle McEwen, who is 95 pins back, can shoot 280. That's probably going to end any chance that Stephanie Johnson would have to pass Missy. That washout there. And also the fact that even if she converts it, she's not going to win this match.
These 30 bonus pins, very important for Missy, very crucial for Steph. Pretty much, I mentioned Kayla being mathematically out of it at this point, so it's just a matter of the 3-4 seed and lane choice at that point.
Yep, second's definitely better than third or fourth. Not much of a difference between third and fourth.
Well, we know Danielle McEwen's a shot maker. She's won a couple of Team USA trials and she's made the US Open TV show. Looks like Ali iJams has the front 8 down on lane 7 and 8. That pair's been the hot pair the last couple games. So a lot to look at here. Besides a little bit of excitement there, Ali down in 10th place. So no implications there. But her being able to surge up the standings a little bit, earn a little bit extra prize money and some more points. As we see Missy love tap on the 10 pin there. Ali still striking. So another 100 pins and a win would be pretty nice for her pocketbook, I think. Get her so Missy up on 19. Danielle getting ready to bowl on 22. We'll get the calculator out. Looks like JT's going to at least go down and check out the action on 7 and 8. Allie's got the front 9. Missy striking. See if Danielle can follow suit here. Looks like Allie, her run came to an end. Looks like 7 from here, so we'll turn our attention back to our championship pair here. All Jason had to do was walk that way. Danielle's run comes to an end as well. She leaves a 9-pin. Get the calculator out here. Missy with 3 in a row. Trying to hold off Danielle. Next score for McEwen, 259. Missy can shoot 235. Again, the difference there, 95 pins.
Yeah, Missy would have to shoot 194 or better to lock into that spot, whether she wins or loses. If she wins, she would just need 164.
Danielle's throwing it great and getting hot at the right time.
She is. She was kind of one of my favorite picks for somebody who, you know, people who follow professional bowling may not know a lot about, but would be a huge star. This can make it a little easier for Missy. Missy just needs now 184 to hang on to that number 2 seed. Right now she's on a 205 pace, so just basically needs 1 mark in either of these last 2 frames. Wow, good shot. So a spare here, and Missy Parkin's going to be your number 2 seed. And that's going to do it. So Missy Parkin is going to be the number 2 seed. Jazreel Tan, regardless of the outcome of this last match, is going to be your tournament leader. Will bowl for the title. Missy Parkin will be number 2. Danielle McEwen, number 3, and she'll take on Stephanie Johnson in our opening match. Coming up at 6:30 p.m. local time, 7:30 Eastern.
The crowd starting to grow here at South Plains Lanes. Nearly standing room only as we get ready for the exciting conclusion here. Somebody's getting their name on a banner. Jazzy wins, you put her name on a banner? How's that work here in the PWBA as a non-member?
Got to be a member.
There you have it, folks. There's your motivation. Join the PWBA. Come out and get your name on a banner. I don't think Jazzy will be upset about the $10,000 top prize.
No.
But after hearing Alicia Curran's description of the banner presentation, that's all the motivation I would need right there.
Yeah.
The money's nice.
Very cool. Very cool. Can't wait to do it again.
So we're minutes away from signing off here, and then doing some fun stuff here behind the scenes as we get ready for the step ladder. Carolyn Dorton Ballard will be our special guest for the finals. Missy Parkin will make her second consecutive stepladder appearance. I have to do some crowd control here to make sure nothing gets knocked over with all the people fighting for seats.
I know. That's a great top four, Matt. Another great show.
Well, again, looking at the field this week, 74 players, most of them recognizable names. It was guaranteed to be an exciting finish, and a lot of great representatives for the sport of bowling and the new PWBA tour.
That's going to do it. So, again, Jazreel Tan is your leader. Missy Parkin, the second seed. Stephanie Nation and Danielle McEwen will bowl in that first match for the right to take on Missy Parkin.
All right, Jason Thomas, it's been a pleasure here bringing you the action live from South Plains Lanes 2015 PWBA Lubbock Sports Open. Position round complete, 28 games in the books, 12 games of qualifying, 16 games of match play. Step ladder set. We'll be back on the air here on Extra Frame at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 local time. Don't be late. That's the news for now. We'll see you on the lanes.
Fourth position, 11 times a member of Team USA. Please welcome. All right, bowling fans, that's your top four for the step ladder finals. We'll take a brief break here, about an hour or so. We'll do some setup, and then we'll come out for our